Right. It was invented by the Egyptians. The Egyptian women Cleopatra.
Hey guys, this is Brandon from Boundless Beyond, and I am back in Cairo, Egypt for another day of exploring. I'm coming to you right now from the banks of the Nile River, and I'm going to be heading out today on a tour with my good friend and tour guide, Hend. So join me today on my trip of the hidden gems of Cairo. So today I'm touring the hidden secrets of Cairo with my good friend Hend. She works for Cairo Urban Adventures and Intrepid Group as a tour guide, and she is the person that you need to see if you want to take a look at all of the things that Cairo and Egypt have to offer. I'm so honored to be here with her today and really excited about what we're going to be taking a look at. We're here at Memphis, which was the first capital of a unified Egypt. It was built in about 3000 BCE, which is such a long time ago. It is sometimes difficult to really conceptualize how vast Egyptian history is. But most of the artifacts that are found here were not actually from 3000 BCE because the city was no longer the capital and it had kind of fallen into disrepair. And so Ramses II, one of the most famous pharaohs in all of ancient Egyptian history, came here in about 1200 BCE, 1800 years later, and built a temple here and all of these statues, including this one of himself, because he really liked himself a lot. So there's a statue of himself here, and there's a lot of them all over. We're going to see one that's a colossus, a massive statue of Ramses II. Hend fact.
This is the second biggest sphinx in Egypt.
I'm here at the Colossus of Memphis. This is Ramses II, and this is actually the single largest statue ever created out of a single block of stone. Ramses II was absolutely obsessed with himself. He really loved putting his face and his cartouche, which was like his hieroglyphic stamp and seal with his name, on everything. This Colossus was found here in this spot, and they didn't want to destroy it or hurt it, so they just actually excavated it and then built a building around it, and you can come and take a look at it here in Memphis. So this is Sakara Pyramid. This is the Pyramid of Zoser that was built by the great ancient Egyptian architect Imhotep. You may have heard that name before. This is the first pyramid in Egypt. It was built in about 2600 BCE, 2680 to be exact. And they just kept like adding layers on top and on top, and this eventually became the model for the Great Pyramids of Egypt that you can see in my other Cairo video. And it's really impressive. I mean, this whole compound is covered with tombs because people wanted to be buried near the king. And this is definitely a place you want to see. And again, just like in the last spot we were at, there aren't a lot of tourists here because everyone's going to the Great Pyramids. So even though the Great Pyramids are a great place to see, you also need to see the Step Pyramid at Sakara. Hend fact.
Ancient Egyptians believed that the Step Pyramid is the stairway to heaven.
I'm inside the Pyramid of King Titi, and it is kind of cramped in here. So, اسمك ايه?
Mr. Hanafi.
Okay. So we're here in the sarcophagus chamber, and the stone for the sarcophagus was actually brought all the way from Sudan. It's very, very far from here, and we are surrounded by hieroglyphics and these stars on the ceilings. It's very beautiful. So. This is the tomb of Kagami, and it is next to the pyramid of Pharaoh Titi. What's really cool about this is that the reliefs on the walls, they show daily life of Egyptians on the Nile. There's depictions of animals and dancers and people on boats and fishing and all kinds of things. It's really beautiful. I'm here at the Khan alHali, which is the newest location on my tour today because it dates only back to the 14th century, which is really kind of crazy that the newest place is that old. But in a city as old as Cairo, the 14th century is pretty young. This was designed by an architect of the Sultan. His name was Khalili. So Khan alHali means the Hotel of Khalili. And it was called a hotel because artisans would have their shops here, but then they would live on the floors above. It looks like a scene out of Aladdin. There's carpets and lamps and perfumes, and it's a crazy, hectic, chaotic place, but it's also really beautiful. Let's check it out. This is Al-Fishawi, which is a cafe right in the middle of Khan alHali. The most famous author in all of Egypt, the Nobel laureate Naguib Mahfouz, came here and would sit and contemplate the city and people of Cairo while he was writing his books about it. It's traditional here to get some tea, so I've got some mint tea here, which has whole leaves of mint. You just pour it on top like this, and it is really, really good. There's definitely a lot of sugar that comes along with it too. And I also got a traditional snack to eat. This is for lunch. I'm going to have a falafel sandwich, which has whole pieces of falafel here, which is a chickpea dish that's fried and comes in a sandwich. And it's really, really good. One of the funniest things about Egypt is that people actually eat sandwiches with chips inside. So they just take some chips out of the bag, put it in an edible bag, and then eat it. It tastes like a sandwich with chips in it. It's pretty good. Hend fact.
This is the place where King Farouk, the last king of Egypt, used to come and have his coffee or make tea.
Well guys, that does it for my tour of the hidden gems of Cairo. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. As always, I hope you find adventure in everything that you do. I'll see you next time here on Boundless Beyond.